And now, Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.
Whether it's a sneaky puddle or a rogue banana peel, we've all had those slip and fall moments. But what do you do when that simple misstep leads to serious consequences? Helping us navigate this legal slippery slope is Nick Clekis, owner of Clekis Law Firm. Nick, great to have you back with us today.
Hey, good to see you.
And what is the slip and fall law in South Carolina?
Well, it's fairly complicated. It's not like your regular negligence case. So you have to be able to show that the person that's responsible either had actual notice or constructive notice. So what does that mean? So you go to the Harris Teeter and you're walking down the aisle and you drop a bottle of shampoo and I walk right behind you seconds later and I slip and fall and I get injured. They're not responsible because they had no notice. But let's say you drop that shampoo and you go to the front desk and say, hey, I broke a bottle of shampoo, you need to clean it up. And an hour later, I'm going out in an ambulance and you say, what happened? He slipped and fell in that shampoo. Well, they had actual notice. You told them and they failed to clean it up.
What if you drop, I drop a shampoo bottle and I just leave it, which I would never do, but then it's there for like 2 hours. I didn't tell anybody, right? But then that happens 2 hours later. You would think that the store would have seen it, right? Or had some kind of notice that maybe they should clean it up. What happens then?
That's the constructive notice.
Oh, okay.
They knew or should have known that it was there. That's why you see, like when you go in bathrooms in places, they have the log to show that the guy has been there, or they, to sweep and mop or whatever. So you drop that shampoo and it's there all day and it's got shopping cart marks through it and it's dried around the edges and it's been there for hours and slip and fall. They had constructive notice because it's been there long enough. They should have cleaned it up in a timely manner.
This makes a lot more sense why we always see those yellow caution signs, even when it's not wet anymore, right? They are protecting themselves. What are the most common defenses that you see against slip and fall injuries?
Well, the main one is open and obvious. So if you're at a merchant's facility and they have a big yellow speed bump in the parking lot and you trip on it, the defense is you should have seen it. It's open and obvious. It's the minor imperfections that are imperceptible to the brain that are oftentimes more dangerous because you don't really notice them. Late at night, walking downtown, slate sidewalks, 2 inches raised, and you don't see it and you trip and fall. That's responsibility.
Do you see a lot of lawsuits come through from people walking downtown and slipping and falling? Yeah,
the slate sidewalks are a problem. Sometimes you have the trees growing the roots up and they're uneven and they're hard to walk on when they're level, much less when they're not level, and so those are a big problem.
You mentioned that, and that brings up another question. If people are walking down the street, right, let's say not Charleston, let's say a different street, and they slip and fall, I mean, does it depend on the open and obvious defense if anyone is responsible for that?
Yeah, so we're a comparative negligence state, so you have to take into consideration were you on roller skates, drunk, and had a blindfold on or a mask from Halloween? Obviously your recovery is going to be reduced by your comparative negligence, when otherwise it may be 100% recovery. Yeah. And then it also depends on what the status of your visit is. Are you an invitee, licensee, or trespasser? Trespassers have no rights. Yeah. Invitees, while you would think that'd be somebody that was invited to your house, invitees are actually people that are asked to come to benefit the merchant. And licensees are people that you do invite to your house to say, hey, you've got a license to come to a party at my house. And there's all different standards of care.
I feel like we just barely scratched the surface on everything slip and fall. And so if people find themselves in that situation or want to learn more about it, where can they go?
843-9-MILLION.
843-9-MILLION and Clekis.com.
That's right.
Awesome, Nick. Great to have you with us
Great.
as always.
Thanks for having me.
We're back after this.
This has been Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.